Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, the place where we make Microsoft Tech simple and job ready. This is a fourth part in the series of Power Apps interview questions and answers that could help you land your next job role. So let's dive right in. Question number 31. What are Power FX formulas? So in a single line answer, we can say the PowerX formulas are Excel-like language used for logical implementation and selection of UI behaviors. So by using the PowerFX formulas, we can see how our UI will be so hidden or how we can do the so hide of the UI as well as implement the logic using it. Question number 32. What is the use of context variables? So, the context variables are temporary values used within a screen for managing a state. For example, we can use a context variable for controlling the visibility or passing values between the controls. So, the context variable is we can consider as local variables, the update context thing. Okay. Question number 33. How do you export and import apps in Power Apps? So the question is morely focused on the importing and exporting of Power Apps solutions. So what we can do is we can use the export import option, which is available in the Power Apps to move the apps between environments, and also we can use it to packaging them in the solutions. Question number 34. How do you track user activity in Power Apps? So what we can do in that case is we can log the actions that are being performed by the user inside our Power Apps application by using patch function, and we can send those details like the user's email and the timestamp to a SharePoint list or a Dataverse as a backend when that specific action is occurred. For example, someone clicks on a submit form or send email button, we can also run the patch function alongside that particular action that button needs to perform and work that or share that as a tracking information in our SharePoint or Dataverse table. Question number 35. How do you publish changes in Power Apps? So there is a publish button which is available in the Power Apps. So after saving your changes, you can click that publish button. So those changes will be available to all the users who are there who are going to use this application. If you don't publish the application, those changes are not going to be updated as in the app for all the users, for example, the live users. So this is very important. Every time publish in the app if you want to make that available to your users. Question number 36. What is a portal in Power Apps? So the Power Apps portal, or nowadays it is called as Power Pages, is used for external facing websites. Those are built using Power Apps for the scenarios like customer self-service and partner access. For example, we can use the Power Pages, the anonymous website built using the Power App, where we want a user interact with our data but without having that particular license. So we can use the Power Pages in that scenario. Question number 37. How do you validate inputs in form? So we can use if condition and the required and error message properties in form controls enforce rule before submission. So by using these properties of required and error message and considering the if condition, we can check and validate the input values that has been put by the user. And according to that, we can show the error message, or we can let the user go move forward. Question number 38. How do you store images captured in Power Apps? So we can use the camera control, and that camera control can be used to capture images and then patch them into the SharePoint list or Dataverse table with an image or attachment column. So there are two columns available, attachment image columns available in the SharePoint list as well as in the Dataverse. So when someone clicks a photo using the camera control, like mobile camera or something, we can use the patch function to upload that image into those two columns, attachment or image column. Question number 39. What is concurrent and why we use it? So the concurrent function allows multiple formulas. This is important. Multiple formulas to run simultaneously. This is also an important word. Speeding up performance. For example, loading multiple collections in parallel. So when we want to run any action or multiple formulas concurrently at the same time, we can use this concurrent function. So sometimes an interviewer when can ask, like, there is an issue with performance in the application, so we can give an answer of using the concurrent method to load multiple collection at the same time. Instead of sequential, we can use and load the multiple collections in parallel to reduce the loading time. Question number 40. What is the delegation limit in Power Apps? So sometimes the client or the interviewer will ask you about what is delegation or what is the delegation limit, or when you have to go and perform some action into the server side instead of the client side application. So you can provide an answer like this. So by default, the Power App retrieves only 500 records. That is important, from non-delegable query. So you can work with 500 records at a time without delegation, and that can be increased to 2000 in app settings. When you go into the app settings, you can make it 2000. By default, it is 500 records, but you can go and increase it up to 2000 records. Anything beyond 2000 record must be handled at the delegation friendly formulas, that is server side. Okay. And at the data source in terms of Dataverse or SharePoint library or SQL database or anything. More than 2000 records needs to be handled at the server side. Okay, at the delegation friendly, using the delegation friendly formulas. Okay, so these are the 10 questions. As last time in part 3, I'm going to provide you one more bonus question with the answer. And how do you know if a formula is not delegable? There is a delegation warning message, as the function might not work correctly on large data sets, generally shown by Power Apps, this particular error. What does that mean is this formula which you are trying to use is not delegable for the selected data source. So the Power App will try to only retrieve default 500 records or 2000 records as max and process them locally. But if there are more than 2000 records are there, then it is give you an incomplete result. So in that case, you have to work and complete your function or method as a delegated method. For example, if you are using this len here, which is a non-delegable function. So when you use it like this, the length is not a delegable function to SharePoint. So this will trigger the delegation warning and you have to change your method in some another way. Okay. Okay, so yes. Okay, that's it for this video. If you found these Power Apps interview questions helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and drop your thoughts into the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to SharePoint Guy YouTube channel for the more tech tutorials, interview preparation, and Microsoft 365 tips every week. Until next time, stay curious and keep building with Power Platform.